Here we go, back up to a restart. Quickly, let's go over the overtime rules. We're about to go back green, but we get 2 laps, a green lap, a white lap, and then checkered. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. If the green lap is not completed, we re-rack and restart, and we do it all over again. After all 3 attempts are used, a caution can end the race. Here we go, green flag back in the air. We are racing again here at California. Already contact there with Joe Lawrence. He's trying to hang on. He pedals the car, but it holds up. No rainwater. Out front is Vicente Salas, and it is Lane Riggs.
A heck of a save by Joe Lawrence as they are single file. Riggs and Salas duking it out, trying to do what they can to fight each other for this win. Riggs is trying to find a way around on the top side, but as they come around, it's going to be white flag in the air, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. We are going to make this race official, and we're going to finish it on my favorite number. White flag is in the air. Riggs underneath Salas for the lead.
For the lead and the win here at Auto Club Speedway, Lane Riggs finally gets down to the inside of Vicente Salas through turns 1 and 2. Can he hold on to it? Side by side still down the back straightaway.
Riggs is going to do everything he can, but he's by himself. He's not going to have the drafting help as Slow is up top, trying to decide who he's going to push. The nose in front goes to Riggs. Slow goes to the bottom.
Big send for Slow. He's going to move up the racetrack now. Brandon Slow driving Lane Riggs to the wall. It's going to be a straight-up drag race down to the stripe. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be, I don't know. Vicente Salas, I think, has done it again.
What a finish!
Wow!
What a run to the end by these drivers. Officially, Salas gets it, and Slow and Riggs tie 17 one-hundredths of a second, 17 one-thousandths of a second behind Salas.
Ah, yes, we're finally back after a lengthy holiday break and ready to get back to some fantastic short track racing with iRacing's best super late model drivers. We're all set to go at a classic iRacing track. We're in Brazelton, Georgia, but not at Road Atlanta. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in virtual Brazelton, Georgia. My name, of course, is Andrew Cardinale IV with Zachary Murtis alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the Sim Auto Racing Association Pierce Fleet Service Super Series at Caffeine and Octane Lanier Raceway. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by RS Center Trucking. This is the RS Center Trucking 150, as well as Pierce Fleet Service and all series partners. I'm excited, Zach. We literally just got wrapped up with GT3 cars at Red Bull Ring, and now here we are. We've gone across the world, and we are in Lanier. I'm excited. I love Lanier. This is a fantastic little racetrack. I know, it's been on the iRacing.com sim for ages, and the track still looks like it did in, 2008 or 2009? I'm glad it does.
Lanier is always a really fun track to come to. I especially like just how racy it gets. It's, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's very, I can't even think of a word because there's just very few words to describe how great Lanier is. It's got such an appeal to it that draws in such a great skill level from drivers, to be perfectly honest, because you can really rip around the bottom, but once the track comes in a long enough race, you can utilize that high line, get that corner exit speed, and really just drive it off down the straightaway into the next corner. There's going to be so much complexity to tonight's race, and these guys are going to have to play it smart, but they're going to have to play it fast because these laps will tick off quick.
That they will. Lanier is a very fast little racetrack. It doesn't look like it has that much banking, but it definitely can hold a race car in the corner and make you go pretty quick around these corners. But let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. Hang on. There we go. One button off. Cole Cabry on top of things. Single digits, though, on top of the series. Can you believe that halfway through we have single digits in the top three? Separating those drivers. There are two drops figured in here. That helps them out a little bit, but Cole Cabry, Alex McCullum, Josh Cottle, each just a few points away from one another, and it's clear there's a class of the field. It's those three. Harberts and Turzak, they have a win apiece, and they're up there too, but really for the championship, as we're halfway through, halfway to go, it's feeling very much like it's going to be one of those top three, but I suppose it could come from anybody, probably in the top seven.
Well, you want to talk about the top five. Going from Cabry to Turzak, all five of those drivers starting in the top five tonight. So this could really be a bit of a crazy race, at least at the start of it. These guys are fighting for every position they can. But, as we start to roll into this, you got to think, Andrew, with points on the line, but a long race, where do you start defense and where do you start offense?
Well, I do want to take a look briefly here at the schedule before we actually get to the grid and get on with tonight's program. We started the season back in October at North Wilkesboro Speedway, and it's been a while since we've been racing with these guys. It's been since November 13th, so almost 2 months since this series has been on track. And you don't find that often, but we had the National Tour to squeeze in there, the holiday breaks, and everything else. And we're back now in the new year. Lanier, 2 mystery rounds coming up for the rest of January. Then February has 2 normal rounds and 1 mystery round there with New Smyrna and Southern National on each end of it. So we've got some really good racetracks to go. Who knows for those 3 mystery rounds remaining, but that's a brief look at the series schedule here for 2025 and 2026. Let's get into the iRacing.com sim though and take a look first quickly at weather conditions. Here they are. 81 degrees in the air. Well, 82 really. Sim date is set to August, 4 o'clock in the evening, and track temp is up there, 111. But let's go through this ATVO starting grid quickly. Zach, the top 10. I guess because I wasn't here for qualifying, it's not loading, but I will let you walk us through verbally.
Yeah, starting lineup rolling off tonight. You've got Alex McCullum and Jacob Harbers, your front row. That's first and second. Cabry and Turzak lining up third and fourth. You've got Josh Cottle in the 5th position. That's your top 5 in points and your top 5 on the racetrack, with Kyle Eli to his outside in the 6th spot. Rolling off in the 7th position, you've got Riley Stenjem with Trevor Edwards to his outside in the 8th spot. 9th and 10th, you'll find Kyle Meyer, Blake Massengale, Parker Traves, Cameron Hamilton, row number 6 and 11th and 12th. Then it's Steele Langford, Matt Rolfe, 13th and 14th, 15th and 16th. You'll find Joel Smith, Daniel Pope, Aaron Johnson in the 17th position, along with Corey Bodie in that 18th position. 19th, you'll find Brian Tedeschi, with Mitch Dranowski to his outside, rounding out the top 20. Eric Tracy and Grant Brown, 21st and 22nd, with Spencer Dickinson, Tracy Petter, Dylan Bates, Cody Dempster, Justin Laxton, and Keith Jeffrey, rounding out your 28-car field here at Lanier tonight. Couple extra laps on the pace car, Andrew, as we roll through this starting grid. But lights are going out. We'll be going racing here in just a moment, and I'm ready for it.
A quick look at Whiplash SimCam's race details. This is a 150-lap race, about 56 miles. The choose is in effect. No change sets. Cautions will count. 2 green-white checkers should we need them. It is open setup, of course, with no fast fix. We have an extra pace lap. I love that. Gives us a chance to breathe a little bit here as we get ready to go racing. Zach, we don't officially have a pick graphic yet. Hashtag yet. But who you got for this one?
Ooh, too early to tell. Not to mention, I've been a little absent from SARA this season. I need a little bit to get reacclimated, so talk to me in like 50 laps.
Here we go. I believe we should be starting this time by the iRacing.com safety car. We'll head back to the relative safety of pit lane, and we'll finally get this one going from Lanier. We're green. One lap complete. Oh, I love these cars driving under the speed shot here at Lanier. That is so cool. Riley Stensham leads. Trevor Edwards, second place. And everybody follows in behind these opening couple of laps.
That outside line is trying, as it may, to see what they can do. And, you know, I completely forgot, Andrew. I've been out of the loop for so long. The metric. The metric was into effect. I rolled off what the qualifying order was. But Stensham leading Terzak and Trevor Edwards fighting it out. Stensham goes quickest now that he's got some clean racetrack, the ability to breathe. Look at that back bumper, though. Kyle Terzak trying to stay in the coattails.
And can you believe it now, Zach? Kyle Terzak has got himself a Super Series win coming back at IRP earlier this season. That still is just a crazy stat, but he's finally got a 1 in that win column. It's been a long time coming for sure. It felt like it was never going to happen, but it has finally now, and 5 laps in here at Lanier, he is pressuring for the race lead once again. But as we've seen with the metric race after race, it's just always so helpful to start up front of this field. It's so much easier to hold on for about 50 laps or so.
That it is, and Terzak clicking off purple lap after purple lap. He didn't click one off that time by, but he was clicking a few off. Riding on board now with the 4th place driver of Cole Cabry, as he is looking at the back bumper of Josh Cottle. And that is your top 3 right in front of him. Side by side behind, though, look at Alex McCullum trying to hang down on the bottom, not allow Edwards in line. Oh, big rack off of turn number 4. Tedeschi's in the air.
I wonder what Derek Krause is thinking as far as how to spot that. Car underneath you, buddy. Figure it out. Wow.
Gives a new definition to car low.
Yeah, I suppose. Boy, I saw that happen in the background. I saw the metallic green 88 get tipped right there by the 60 of Traves, and they all just piled in. Oh my goodness, that is a parking lot. I don't think I've ever seen such a bad chain reaction before. That is kind of spectacular for all the wrong reasons. Watch that 10 car on the outside. That's Blake Massengill. That's the darkly numeraled car out there. He gets into Kyle Eli. Eli drifts, and that, I think, sparked it all. Oh, Rolf in it. Tedeschi, as you mentioned, in the air. The 44 there. Pope in it. Johnson. Tracy.
Spencer Dickinson
goodness.
almost made it through it. You got a little piece right there at the end.
Underneath the drone there for pit entry, and then, oh my gosh. Oh, Cam Hamilton's junk. Dylan Bates got a piece.
Quite a few drivers more than likely out of this race. Hamilton, meatball flag. Tedeschi, meatball flag. Corey Bodie is done for the evening. Parker Traves with a meatball flag.
There you just saw the back end of the Chews and the back straightaway. That is where the Chews will be this evening. Down the back stretch, these drivers will need to go all the way down to the inside there. You can't really see it from here. Maybe I can do this. No, hang on. Let me... Control F12, Andrew. Come on now. It's like I'm a rookie. There we go. Now you can see that yellow line on the inside. That's where drivers need to go below in order to designate themselves as choosing the bottom. Otherwise, they'll be put on the top side of the racetrack if they choose anywhere on the racing surface. So, apron for bottom, racetrack for top. The field is chosen. We've got Riley Stenjum still out front. He's got Kyle Turzak over his right shoulder. Josh Cottle in third. Alex McCullum chose top. He'll restart fourth. Cole Cambry will restart from fifth alongside Blake Massengill. Ahead of Trevor Edwards will be alongside of Joel Smith. Here we go. Restart zone coming up. Green flag. Back in the air. Lap 15. Oh, Stenjum pushed up there, Zach. Contact almost between Stenjum and Turzak. They are very close.
Turzak's got some mega speed up on the outside line. He's really giving Stenjum a run for his money right here. Off of turn number 4 at the line. Very, very close. Stenjum with it by a nose. Turzak with it in the corner, but back to it through the center. It's Stenjum. Look at him. Entries Turzak. Exit is the 77. They're really going at it here, and this is what you'll love to see. Right behind him, too, Josh Cottle and Alex McCullum fighting it out with, excuse me, Cole Cambry right behind him. I mean, this is turning into an all-out brawl between this top 5. This is your top 5 in points. They are not giving an inch with each other.
Stenjum will not give this up. Turzak wants it. He's got it now into turn 3. It's real close between these guys. There was some shakiness there into the corner, maybe some contact, but Turzak led that lap. Not by a whole lot, but by just enough.
McCullum trying to utilize the outside line as well, see what he can get here. Don't want to burn up those tires too soon. We've got 150 laps of racing, and we're barely 20% in. Stenjum gets loose off turn number 4. He's getting pinched down to the yellow line. There's only so much you can give. And off to new race leader, full well and clear. It's Kyle Turzak.
Stenjum and McCullum now side by side. That's all well and good that Turzak is clear for the lead, but now McCullum's going to get clear as well. There he goes, clear of the 77 almost. Now just might be clear of Stenjum. And yeah, Alex getting down to the bottom. That is a scary sight for Turzak to have at his mirror. I wouldn't want that personally.
You got to think about what Riley's doing here, though, in that 77 card, because now Cole Cambry is working on his outside line. Maybe he's just letting them burn those tires up on the outside. Just letting them fight it out, burn off their stuff, while he saves on the bottom on the preferred line and keeps himself in a good position for setting himself up later in the race. It's definitely a possibility, because there goes Cambry on that outside line.
I think no disrespect to Riley Stenjum. I think these guys around him just have better pace. I think it's just them trying to find a way by and finally starting to get a way by as this race goes on. 25 laps in. You know what I want to bring up that we haven't yet this evening, Zach? How about some power rankings? We'll watch from high above as Aaron Johnson goes through the pit lane. Let's take a look at some power rankings coming into this evening. They have moved around quite a bit. Remember, we've had a couple of Super Series. Well, we had the one Super Series race at Concord to play into this, and then we had the National Tour races at Southern National. And, well, actually, we had the Fall Brawl, we had the Thanksgiving Classic, and then we had the Kern Winter Classic that have all played into this. And I don't think Cole Cambry has run any of them. So he's dropped all the way down to 9th with a score of 36.2. Last time he was on this graphic for a Super Series race, he had a 71.4. But he hasn't been racing the National Tour races. He's been focusing on his real stuff outside of the Super Series. So he's dropped down quite a bit. But McCullum is still as fast as ever. He's on top. Turzak in the top 3. Jacob Harberts with that win from Kern. He's now in the top 3. Josh Cottle right behind. Tracy Petter a little further back with Cameron Hamilton, who's already out of this race. So that's how the power rankings boil down. But look at this. The top 3 on top of each other.
McCullum was putting pressure on Kyle Turzak, trying to find a way to cross him up on corner exit. Cambry saw the opportunity to get to the outside of the one car. Now he's got the nose in front to take that second spot away. Down onto the dotted yellow line goes McCullum, trying to hang on tight. I think Turzak likes this, though.
Oh, that's how close they got. That was really cool. I didn't know I had that camera. These guys are just, oh, so close every single lap. Cabry's got it. He finally powers by McCullum. I think Alex finally realized, yeah, he's got the better of me right now. Let him go. Burn his stuff up maybe. Get back to him later. I just feel like anytime we see Cabry get away on a longer run, he never falls off. Maybe tonight's the night. I don't know, but if he's this good already, I don't think he'll be looking back very much this evening. That 54 looks really, really good. A little bobble there into, but this looks like another really good Cole Cabry kind of night.
Well, the top 5, as they were from the start of the race, realistically speaking, just changed a couple positions around as we ride on board with Cole Cabry and see just how much wheel he's putting into that race car. Now, the hand movements definitely are, I don't want to say definitely, I want to say somewhat comparable to what he's actually doing in the car, but obviously it's setup data. We can't fully see what's going on with it here on the iRacing.com sim as we got a caution on the racetrack.
Oh man, Spencer Dickinson.
Oh no.
Is going to need some repairs to that number 6 car. Looking like he took it out for the Bang Bangers at Hickory Motor Speedway. That's not ideal. Well, let's see what happened here. He was racing with Mitch Drunowski. Driver out of Mountain View, North Carolina. Oh, he hit the insert there for the wall. But what happened to the corner? Is that what happens when you hit that part of the wall?
There's no way.
We've seen this at several tracks. And I suppose it's somewhat realistic. I say that with some seriousness, not a whole lot. Here's the deal, right? We're gonna show this from high above in slow-mo. So he's gonna hit the cutout in the wall. That's where you can step through to go up the steps, into the grandstands from the racetrack, or vice versa to go down. So you see that insert there. There's the stairs, and realistically, if you were to hit the wall right here, in real life, you could absolutely catch your car on that insert in the wall, and you could do some catastrophic damage. But let's back this up. And I don't know that this makes a ton of sense, because I don't know why he spins in turn 2. Why is he okay into turn 1 but then spins in 2,
I think he just locked it down, to be perfectly honest.
Let's see if we can get one more look. Won't back it up as far. I just want to listen. Listen here. No. He just got back in the power like normal. That is really strange. But we are going back green. We've actually just gone back green. That was the restart. Here we go. Turn 3. Kyle Turzak chose the top side. It looks like Cabry down low. Oh my goodness. We need a little more time to go over these incidents.
It's a short track. And I say that, it is a short track. It is a small track. Out in front still, Kyle Turzak, Alex McCullum, Cole Cabry, Josh Cottle, Riley Stenjim. That's your top 5 still as they run.
So, multiple comments in the YouTube chat, including from Nim Cross. And I mean, like I said, it makes sense that you would damage your car there. I guess my question is, why does he get into 1 okay and then spin if Stenjum gets loose up into the 13 of Cottle? But it sounds like that's what happened to guys in the street stock race on Tuesday. It's just part of Lanier. You can't hit that part of the wall, and we saw that at Concord. We've seen that at New Smyrna with the crossover on the backstretch. You can't hit the wall right there. It's up to the driver really to not hit the wall. iRacing is just doing its best. Frankly, it's hard for it to simulate that, and I suppose that's the closest we can get for right now.
Well, we're almost a third of the way through the race. We have been green flag racing for about, what has it been? 13 minutes. 13 minutes of green flag racing. We have been live since about 10 o'clock. We've been green flag racing for 13 of that. Riding on board now. with Alex McCullum trying to chase down Kyle Turzak.
We've hardly been able to look through the field yet this evening because of the nature of this broadcast schedule. We're going to work on it and fine-tune it and try to find a healthier balance. We did miss more of tonight's pre-race than we wanted to, for sure. But we had the North American Racing League out at Red Bull Ring right before this. Now we have, of course, SARA Super Series here at Lanier. And we'll have this same kind of double for 5 more weeks. But this side-by-side racing is so good. I want to go through more of the field, but Cabry and McCullum, they just won't let me do it.
The fight just keeps building. Building, and building. I mean, it's been a good race so far. They're just going at it. As Cabry takes a look down to the bottom, falls back in line. McCullum tries to dip his nose down underneath. He might just get there. Underneath Turzak, he's going to keep the nose in there. And there it is, side by side for the race lead. Turzak clears on exit. McCullum falls in line, shifts up way too high. Misses the entry, and that gives way to Cabry.
I think the top side is the way to go here, honestly, Zach. You want to hold on to it at all costs. You do not want to give up the top side of the racetrack. You see McCullum look to the top side, cut back down low, realizes it's not there up top, so he tries the inside of Turzak again. But when he made that dive a couple of laps ago, remember, he got down there, but then he immediately went high to make Cabry go low. I think that's intentional from McCullum to hold on to the top side, and now you see he loses the top to Cabry.
These guys are just swapping positions, realistically speaking. McCullum's held second. Obviously, they're not swapping track position, but they're swapping lanes on the track. Cabry seems to be pretty beneficial on that outside line, so maybe give it a few laps, see if you can't get by McCullum, but they are roughing each other up.
From the fan cam, look at how close they are off the corner. I mean, dead even across the stripe. That was pretty cool. Maybe a little contact there. It's interesting, these two were once teammates at the shop, and then Alex kind of went back his own way. First, Alex McCullum Race Cars came back, and then he moved over to CFM with Jacob Harberts, and now they kind of branched off into Black Magic Performance, and every step of the way, he has been just as competitive. You know, in real life, big drivers, whether it's in the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, trucks, whatever, even down to short track racing in late models, when they move teams, typically there's like a reset period. Sometimes they fire off really good, Zach, but usually there's kind of a reset period. It takes a little bit of time to get that chemistry going. There was none of that for Alex. He has been set to go from day one, no matter where he's at. He does relent there, let Cole get back ahead for second. But, boy, it's just interesting how competitive he always is, no matter where he's at. But now that they've got single file, we can fall back a little bit. Caudle in fourth. There's Edwards in fifth. Stenjum sixth. Harberts is back here in seventh spot. He's got a little bit of damage, it looks like, to that number 80 car. So, you know, as we start to already have to think about NARL Driver of the Day vote, Zach, I know we've still got plenty of time to actually get there, but we got to cycle through some of this field. So there's Harberts. Back to Joel Smith in 8th. Kyle Eli runs in the 9th spot. Mitch Drunowski rounds out the top 10. And there is some deeper battles happening throughout the field. Blake Massagill, Cody Dempster. There's one car getting back on the racetrack. That was Eric Tracy. He's 22 laps down. Side by side back here between Tracy Petter and Keith Jeffrey. So racing all over the racetrack. It's gotten mostly single file now. This is about the longest green flag run we've had tonight.
Don't jinx it. You better knock on wood right now, sir.
Oh, no. This is my second broadcast back-to-back today. My knocks on wood are all given out.
Oh, my goodness.
One thing we are watching for today, in addition to the North American Racing League Driver of the Day vote, keep your ideas in mind, of course, but one other thing we're looking for this evening and for the rest of 2026 is the brand new Murtis Esports Mega Miss. And Zach, I'll let you explain what this is.
It's just a fun little thing that I kind of came up with. We were searching for a few partners here on Pit Stop TV as the season started with 2026, and well, it felt fitting. So the Triple M, the Murtis Mega Miss, now here on Pit Stop TV. Only took 4 years, but finally a channel partner. Gotta love it.
So basically any close miss in any of these crashes is eligible. Well, if we see one, if one stands out to us, we'll mention it and talk about it just a little bit extra. But I do want to give a big thank you to all the partners with the series, of course. Let's see, we've got a couple of pages of them. Let's go through. All Pro Virtual League, Brown Racing Development, Brett Suggs Racing Media, Corey Bodie Motorsports. Oh boy, we're stacking up for third. Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, Dylan Bates Racing, Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, Hot Shot Photography, and Impound Motorsports. On page 1, page 2 brings us International Short Truck Association, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, Privateer Race Products, RJ Williams Management, RS Center Trucking, tonight's presenting partner, SARA Templates, SimRapMarket.com, the association, and Trackside Threads. Great battle for fourth. I mentioned for third before. How about for fourth? A couple of shop drivers. Trevor Edwards. Boy, it seems he's renewed his iRacing membership. He's back out here, and he's going for fourth spot here at Lanier.
Hanging on to it best he can to the outside of Cottle, and clear off of turn number 2. He's going to leave the lane open, let Cottle stick his nose down there a little bit more, but now he is going to have a better run, more space back to the 13. Still keeping on that middle line, though. A couple of guys shifting up to the middle. Cottle falls back, doesn't want to keep fighting. And that lets Stenjem get in line, and now he falls in right behind that 32 car of Edwards. So the top 5 starting to change hands a little bit for the first time tonight. As Cottle drops down, 4/10 behind him. Don't look now. It's Jacob Harbers, though.
This longer run starting to move these guys around. We can revisit. Oh, here we go. Race lead. Never mind. We're visiting the race lead. Contact there off of 2. McCullum roughed him up. Terzak tries to fire back. I think the 1 car is certainly faster, but that contact is going to be on Kyle's mind.
Right past halfway. We're getting down into it. McCullum trying to force him up a little bit. See if he can't turn through center just a little bit better. Oh, this is some good racing right now. This is some great racing.
Top notch. I say in my intro, and I mean it every time I say it, these are the best super late model drivers on the sim. I don't want to hear any argument. You're not going to change my mind on that one. These are the best to do it on the sim. And even, extending down to the Contender Series, I think those are a lot of really talented drivers, and certainly the National Tour is made up of a lot of the same drivers. These are the best to do it in late models on iRacing. And we're lucky to work with some really great short track groups, even branching out into only short tracks and some others like that. But I think SARA is still the cream of the crop. And I think that is easy to see on nights like tonight, where these guys are just straight up dueling. And yeah, we've had a couple of yellows, but these guys have been green now for what, like 40, 50 laps?
They're green for quite a while. McCullum's trying to take another charge at it too. They're getting real close to each other's bumpers. I feel like McCullum is just trying to see if he can do a bit of a crossover on exit.
Yeah,
he
looks
a
like
little high there.
Oh, he might have him right rear. Might have the right rear here.
Back down right there.
Terzak almost gave the top up. Now McCullum goes back down low. That was almost a really big giveaway from the 15. But car number 1 back on the inside. You see just how close he gets to the left rear there off the corner. And they are approaching lap traffic. The first of the bunch, it seems, will be Steele Langford. He's got a lot of damage back here. Hate to see this for Steele. He's a good guy around the iRacing group, and man, this is not how we want to see his number 33 on a night like tonight, or really any night. But he's down in 15th position and struggling with that damage. But boy, we have got ourselves a battle for really the whole top 5, top 7 even, if you include Cottle and Harbers at the tail end of this.
These guys are just starting to string out a little bit more. I'm surprised that we haven't hit more lap traffic at this point. We've got 19 cars on the lead lap. There's Spencer Dickinson. As I start talking about lap traffic, I'm sure he'll love me for that one. 3 laps down at the moment, still on the racetrack with no nose as the leaders are coming up on him. Center of 3 and 4 now, and they're rolling off of 4. So he's got about a quarter of a track on him. Otherwise, the first car on the lead lap, or the last car on the lead lap, would be Steele Langford. He's a little bit further up in terms of distance from the leaders. McCullum crosses over again, tries to get underneath, taps the wall on the straightaway. Look at how much he is pitching on exit to try and see if he can point the nose underneath the 15.
Keeps giving it a shot. Can't find daylight down low. And, you know, Kyle was definitely helped by track position from the metric, but we've seen him now outright win one of these races, and he had to work for it. That was back at IRP earlier this season. He can absolutely do it again. Tonight could be the night that he adds another tally to that win column. And if it happens, he certainly will have earned it here tonight. Against these two, bearing down on him for all these laps, oh my goodness. He is definitely earning some stripes here tonight. He had a rough go of things, honestly, at Kern. I know he was not happy with how that race went. I don't think many were, but boy, this is a good way to bounce back.
Doing an absolute stand-up job and keeping these guys in check right now. Everyone's kind of running about half a lane off the bottom to a full lane off the bottom. They're just settling in, just finding their rhythm, letting this race play out. We have still got more than 50 laps of racing to go. This race is far from over. I think anyone in this top 7 has a shot at winning this race at the moment. If we get another caution, bunch the field back up, maybe a lot of these guys will start catching up some more. But I think the top 7 is realistically where we're looking for the remainder of the race.
There you see some more of the field all the way through. There you see Spencer Dickinson about to go another lap down. He's already 3 laps down. There he is. And that 6 car is not in prime condition. He will bring it to the pit lane. Oh my goodness, Spencer. Oh boy.
Well, that's not the way you want to end your race.
Have you ever, Zach?
No, I've never.
I don't think I have either. Look at this.
Just tried to bring it to the security of pit lane and, well,
he about got there, and hard to say, with all the damage on the car, who knows how much steering he properly had at that speed. But that was not quite the pit lane. I mean, it was the pit lane entry, I suppose. He got that part. Regardless,
we're 49 laps to go.
Yeah, inside of 50, and we are still single file within a second for the whole top 5. How long can Terzak truly hang on?
I don't know, realistically. McCullum taking another look down to the inside. He's going to poke his nose in there, side by side again. The run on the top side has been great. We talked about it in pre-race. You can be defensive on that top line. When do you get offensive? When do you get defensive? And I think everyone's been pretty tame for the most part. We haven't seen a lot of shoving, a lot of bumping. But if McCullum slips up even once trying to see where he can make a pass, Cole Cabry's going to jump. Not to mention a lot of these guys in the top 10, they're starting to close the gap a little bit. Mitch Drunowski has passed up Joel Smith for the 8th spot. He's kind of trying to close that gap. He's within about 3 seconds. It's floating around between 3.1, 3.2. Smith has dropped back. He's into the clutches of Cody Dempster.
There's the
there you see them
cars.
side by side. We haven't had much of a chance to look through the field, Andrew. It's been somewhat tame up front. We've got some fights brewing through the mid-pack.
There you go,
But
Joel
it's been
Smith.
a solid race so far.
Joel Smith gets back clear of Cody Dempster for now. This is the battle for 9th that you mentioned. Drunowski just ahead, and that's kind of the C that's separating 7th and the rest of the field. Or I guess the top 7 and the rest of the field, as they both get the wall in the front straightaway. That could have been disaster for each of these 224 cars. Thankfully, they did not face the same fate as Spencer Dickinson, but now Keith Jeffrey has to run here at Blake Maskell. You know, Keith has been getting better lately. He nearly had a win in the only short tracks Myrtle Beach 300 last year. That was a really cool race. You were in it. And frankly, Keith could have won that thing. Bad things happened to him, unfortunately, but Keith has been getting a whole lot better in this short track scene, and I think better and better finishes are on his way here, even in the SARA Super Series, as we're inside now of 40 laps to go for your top 5 or 6 even, all in a line. How long can they keep this up?
I don't know. I feel like I'm running out of things to say. It's been the same swan song for the last, what, 20, 25 laps for these guys up at the front, maybe longer than that. It's been Terzak leading the way.
Stenjum looking low on Edwards.
Taking a good look. He tried. Couldn't quite get there. Cole Cabry to the inside of Alex McCullum. Falls back in line. And we've got a lap car right up in front of him. Got about a quarter of a track.
And that'll be still Langford when they get there. 36 laps to go. They're definitely going to, if this stays green. Cabry to the inside now of McCullum. Knocking on that door.
The racetrack.
It's so hard to pass. The top side is so good here at Lanier. It is so hard to set up a proper pass here at this racetrack.
Cottle underneath Stenjum. We're 3 wide.
Trevor Edwards might have got a tap there from Riley Stenjum. Some more now at turn 1. Oh, these boys are beating on one another.
The getting is good.
That was a tight squeeze there to turn 3. Cottle very heads up in all of that. He easily could have contributed to a mess between these two.
Woo!
The whole top 6 right now is lit up. 3 and 3 in their different battles.
Cottle thinks that it's time to go. He is trying to rip the bottom line and make it work for him. And that's allowing Jurnowski to close in. He's gone from 3.2 seconds to 2.5 behind the race leader. He's closing in. He's picked up some speed. I just don't know if he's going to have the time to go get him. Or I'm sorry. No, I was talking about Jurnowski. I was looking at Harberts, though.
Well, even the comparison of Terzak to Harberts, here's that. Well, never mind. Here's not that. Do I need to have them in this slot? While I work on that, Zach, this racing, how long can it last? We keep saying that. I truly don't know. But here's the comparison I was looking for. Terzak versus Harberts. So first versus 7th on the stopwatch right now. Very close. Harberts slightly faster, as you see Stenjum and Cottle now side by side battling for 5th. And there we go for the race lead. McCullum gets back down low. And they've got Steele Langford in their windshields.
Trying to use him as a pick. It's going to be difficult for Langford to find a line. He's going to have to go way to the top. But if he gets into him on corner exit, that could be hair-raising. As we are 26 laps away from the checkered flag. Got to think, Andrew, as this fight intensifies, driver of the day has got to be on our mind. NARL driver of the day if they're beating and banging off one another.
Let's see how this battle sorts out. Slide job! Oh my goodness! Alex McCullum sent it in turn 1. Crossover out of Terzak. Can he get clear? He does. Slide job again here at Lanier.
Here comes McCullum back to the inside. They beat and bang down the front straightaway. Into turn 1 and 2. McCullum is going to be in there. He's going to have the nose in the three. He's going to throw it in. Terzak crossed him underneath again. What are we seeing? This is amazing.
Alex fed him the right rear, and it worked. Now Terzak tries the same, can't get as far ahead. Alex McCullum, I think, has just made a winning pass. Maybe. Terzak tries again. Alex sits back. Terzak crowds him up. Contact there at the stripe. Incredible.
He can't let him break away. He cannot let McCullum get clear. But unfortunately, it's going to have to go the way of the 1 car. Maybe not. Terzak back to the inside. McCullum clear again.
That's it between the 1 and the 15. Now it's the 15 and 54. They do have Langford right ahead. He gets out of the way finally. Yeah, McCullum's gone. They need a caution. And at this point, even that won't save him.
If I'm Kyle Turzak, let Cabry try to go get the 1 car. That is your best hope right now. 20 laps to go. And McCullum's out in front. Edwards trying to find a way to move forward as well. Stenjem and Connell still fighting it out. Drunowski's within 2 seconds of the leader.
I'll tell you what, Zach, you mentioned it was time. Let's hear your nominations. We're inside of 20 to go. We have a blink there. We're okay. We're all right. Let's get your nominations here.
Kyle Turzak. Definitely going to be number 1 on my picks. He has done an outstanding job trying to hang on, but I think the tires are falling the way of the 1 and the 54. But you gotta give credit where credit is due. Turzak has done a phenomenal job of trying to hang on to it. He might lose some spots here as Edwards looks to his inside, but he's done a great job trying to hang on to this race car. Pick number 2, though, is they're 3 wide, right behind him. It's so hard to make picks when there's so much action going on. Pick number 2, I'm gonna have to give it to Cole Cabry.
Oh, this might not end well.
More contact.
That was really scary down the back straightaway. Stenjem back up into Edwards. Trevor's not going to like that. Obviously, he can't do anything about it with the car, but might rough. Yeah, he roughs Riley up, sends him into the marbles. That's how you send somebody back in the right way. That was a veteran move out of Trevor Edwards. Just give him just enough bumper to say, hey, I don't like what you've done. See you later.
And Drunowski's closed up in. Harberts is there as well.
Let's complete our picks really quick.
Connell!
We're even getting racy for the lead. So, your other pick?
Yeah, I said I was giving it to...
I'm sorry.
To Cabry.
There was so much going on, I missed it. All right, Cole Cabry. Then I will absolutely take Alex. I can't not take Alex at this point.
I kind of knew you were going to pick him, so...
That's fair. I'm going to go ahead and actually go Riley Stenjem. Sometimes when we see these guys get the pole by the metric, they fall off pretty quick. Sometimes they go on to win. He's done a pretty good job, I think, of taking a pretty solid starting spot by virtue. I mean, he qualified top 8 to get the metric, right? But certainly he was kind of given the pole position on the grid. He's done a fantastic job, I think, of holding up, fighting these guys, and definitely making them earn each pass they've made on him. I'm going to nod Riley Stenjem there into the Driver of the Day conversation. So that vote is now up on YouTube. You can partake. We suggest you do so. A little bit of extra fun here in these final 10 or so laps and through the post-race conversations that we'll shortly be having. Kyle Turzak with company down low. Trevor Edwards is down there. This is for 3rd. And you know Trevor Edwards wants to stand on the podium today. See, I wanted to nominate Edwards. He's usually really quick at the end of these races, and he has done a fantastic job. But I kind of I don't want to nominate him and jinx him.
But you're cool jinxing everybody else.
Yeah, I just like Trevor. Oh my gosh, he got into Kyle there in turn 1.
Checked him up a little bit, coddled to the inside. Stenjem on the back bumper. Maybe going to try to repay the favor as Drunowski's to the inside of Harberts.
There is no fight, by the way, for the lead. This is the best of the racetrack. Cottle gets by. You saw Edwards lift after he got into Turzak. And Drunowski's here. Harberts is here. Who else is going to join? Dempster's not far back.
Yeah, Dempster got by Joel Smith, who's fallen off quite a bit more. Cottle putting some pressure on Turzak, who takes that line away going into the corner. We might get 3 wide here for a moment. Trevor Edwards doesn't get to the outside, but Cottle stays to the inside.
You know, these guys are not going to like what Turzak is doing, but he's doing a great job of making his car as wide as possible. The old Ryan Newman strategy, right? Just take him as much track as possible, make it as hard as possible to pass. He's doing a fantastic job of it. He burnt his tires up a little bit for sure, but he's doing a really good job of hanging on and making it really, really difficult on everybody else as they try to go by him for this 3rd spot. 2 laps to go now. Alex McCullum coming around to that white flag.
Yeah, white flag about to go into the air for Alex McCullum. He played it well. He tried as hard as he could to get by Turzak, and it paid off. We saw an absolute masterclass of slide jobs as Cottle gets the nose in front. Out in front of the racing, though, Alex McCullum off of turn number 4. Make it 3 wins of the season. Alex McCullum wins at Lanier. To the line, Cabry.
Cottle will get 3rd over Turzak. just by a nose, and everybody else comes across the line and
want to hear something
finishes this
amazing?
one up.
Tracy Petter, excuse me, ran out of gas coming to the line.
How about that? Alex McCullum parks it here on the front straightaway, and he will win the RS Center Trucking 150. Boy, this one wrapped up in a hurry, didn't it? Green flag for 100 and what felt like 120 laps or so.
45 minutes worth of racing.
Wow, that one went quick.
Not even 45 minutes. We've been live for a little over 45 minutes, but they finished that race in 38 minutes and 8 seconds.
Well, let's take a look back at the unofficial race results. That was a really, really quick one here at the virtual Braselton, Georgia. Winning the RS Center Trucking 150 is, of course, Alex McCullum, as we've well documented to this point. Driver number one, back in the driver's seat of this season. I feel like that is going to, I think, reassert him at the top of this series. Going into 2026, Cole Cabry takes second, Josh Cottle third by just 3/100ths of a second over Kyle Turzak. Trevor Edwards, it's not the podium he wanted, but I think he'll be happy with a top 5. At least he should be. Might be frustrated with that 15 car, and that's probably fair, but I think he should be happy with a top 5 out there tonight. 6th place goes to Jacob Harbert, 7th to Riley Stenjum, Mitch Runowski, Cody Dempster, and Joel Smith. Complete your top 10 here at Lanier.
Rolling outside the top 10, Keith Jeffrey and Kyle Eli, 11th and 12th. And then you've got Blake Massengale, Justin Laxton, 13th and 14th. Matt Rolfe in the 15th position with Tracy Petter running out of gas at the line to get it to the checkered flag. Grant Brown right behind. And then you've got Kyle Meyer, the last car on the lead lap with Steele Langford being 1 lap down. And then Spencer Dickinson ends the race 55 laps down in the 20th spot.
After hitting the pit lane attenuator, mind you, back in 21st spot, Daniel Pope, the second, 69 laps down, just ahead of Eric Tracy. Well, 30 laps ahead of Eric Tracy, who finishes 22nd, 97 laps down. All these guys out early: Aaron Johnson, Dylan Bates, Brian Tedeschi, Parker Traves, Cameron Hamilton, and Corey Bodie. That does it for us as far as on-track action goes this evening. Nobody has connected. They've all gone down yonder. Okay, let's bring them up in here. They might not have been able to see the waiting rooms. We'll bring them in, and we'll be talking to our top 3, as per usual, of course, kicking off with tonight's race winner. And I'm sure that's what you wanted to hear tonight, Alex. Of course, you always want to win these races, but you did so in pretty commanding fashion. But Kyle made you work for it. What was it like trying to get by that 15 car?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a pain. Same thing happened at Kern. He's super fast in the beginning and just builds super tight in the center. So I was really good overall, and I was just trying not to run him over when it moved up to the top there. I was just trying to plan what I was going to do, but he just had enough drive where I couldn't cut down and try to slide him earlier. But I don't know. It's this dynamic track's kind of weird with this car. It's like one lane is so dominant, it stays like that for the whole race, and it makes it impossible to pass. So that kind of brings out your racecraft a little bit, where you kind of have to come up with a game plan and see what you could do to capitalize on the person. But I felt like I had to do what I had to do there to try to get around them.
And you did what you had to do. There was some contact here, some contact there. Obviously, these body panels are meant to be used a little bit. What was that like in the car, though?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It's not like we were throwing haymakers and doors at each other. I mean, I would clear up, he would clip my back bumper, give me a little free, and then he would run me up, and then it was just, I mean, honestly, at that point, you're just fighting for the position and for the win. So we both had to do what we had to do, and came out on top.
And if I bring the power rankings back up, we've been tracking these for a few months now, and through the national tour events there over the fall and winter, you've become the top spot of those power rankings. Like tonight will certainly cement you up there, extend your gap maybe back to guys like Kyle and even Jacob and Josh. Is this something you guys really think about? Not even necessarily just this power rankings, but even stats in general, or are you just kind of resetting each week? Just each one is a new task. Figure out the setup you need and go try to win the race.
It's a little bit of both. I mean, when you go back and watch the replays and the broadcasts and stuff, it's pretty cool when you bring up the power ranking. So it shows out who the top contenders are for the series. So I think that's pretty cool seeing, my name in the top 10. But yeah, I mean, you just got to do what you got to do in this series and try to bring the best cards you can every week. And this is our second time running this package. Our first time was at Concord. So I'd say this new package is 2 for 2 right now.
Wow, this is what you guys are just getting going with. Yeah, I think the rest of the field might be in trouble. Congratulations, Alex. Good to talk to you as always. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody at SARA, you guys for broadcasting, everything Matt does for this league. It's always, it's a blast racing with these guys. So I also got to thank everybody at BMP. It was just me and Jacob tonight, but I know the boys are watching the broadcast.
Another big day for car number 1. He wins another one here in the SARA Super Series. We'll move on back to position number 2. That'll be Cole Cabry, who is along with Zach Murtis.
Cabry coming up just one spot short, lost a little bit of ground as the laps went on towards the end of the race, but Cole, you held your ground, you held steady. In fact, you were right there for the battles between Terzak and McCullum. Did you think you were going to be able to let them burn their stuff up from the slide jobs, or do you think maybe McCullum just had a little bit extra under the hood tonight?
I was just hoping they were going to wreck each other. I was just sitting there waiting, just biting my tongue, and I knew I didn't really have the car to beat Alex. If anything, he was a little bit better. We were even some laps, but yeah, the racetrack was hard tonight. I mean, it was super hard to pass, but good points tonight. I think I missed a race. Alex is going to miss a race, so it'll be tight, and hopefully we can just keep trucking along these good finishes and get the championship.
Absolutely, and you guys are all in a very, very tight points battle with McCullum winning tonight. It definitely doesn't help you trying to take away that points lead after tonight, but you've still got a very strong program. We've seen just how well you can run towards the end of these races. We've seen you be strong early. We've seen you be strong late. You guys tend to have a very good balance of things when it comes to just what kind of package you want to run with these tracks. So my question to you is, are you analyzing how these guys are running and taking what McCullum is doing and trying to apply it to your own craft?
I think we just got to keep our heads forward and focus on what we're doing as a team. What we do is really good, and some weeks we're dominant, some weeks we're really good. We never had a bad week, so that's a good thing about this team is we're always there and we're always fighting for a podium, a win, a second, something. So just super proud of everybody on the shop, and just can't thank them enough. You guys for dealing with us and doing the live stream, Matt for doing SARA. So yeah, we're ready for next week.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Looking forward to seeing you in the next race and hopefully being able to charge for another win.
I appreciate it.
And that was your second place finisher, Cole Cabry, on the night, with Andrew standing by with our third place finisher, that being Josh Cottle.
It's always a good day when you're talking to Josh Cottle at the end of these SARA races. You had to work for it there at the end, and that seemed to be the theme. 15 got out front. He made everybody work to get on by. What was your experience like?
Chaos, that's for sure. Those few, last 20 laps, it was elbows out, and I was terrified. Because, there's a guardrail opening out, right in the middle of, the front stretch. And I was afraid somebody was going to get doored into it and just kill the whole field, but luckily that didn't happen.
Well, they were close. They're on lap 8 or so with that big one out of turn 4. Of course, you were ahead of that. I don't think it necessarily swept anybody up for the championship that you're going up against, but as we start to bring that into focus, what's that part like for you specifically, Josh? At the shop, it's a joint effort with you, Cole, Trevor, everybody else over there, and you're competing against Cole for a potential shot at this championship. But for you, for Josh Cottle, what's the preparation like, and what's the game plan like going into these mystery rounds coming up?
Honestly, I built, me and Trevor would do most of the building, so I just got to focus up on getting our setups down for the boys. Tonight we had a good piece, but I think at Kern, same issue for me. I just suck when it comes to the top. But I think our piece was very good. Cole ran good, and then I had a consistent third, and I think Trevor was 4th or 5th. Yeah, I don't know. That's about all I can really do. I know Cole's going to be helping, just giving us feedback, and hopefully we don't get any crazy tracks that we're gonna have a struggle at. But we got a good group team to help get everybody sorted.
You know, you mentioned you don't want to go to any too crazy tracks. Where would you like to go? If you could just pick a track out of thin air that we haven't gone to yet this season, where would you like to go?
Andrew, I think you know my answer to that. Give me New Hampshire. I need a mile.
Need one of those big mile racetracks. You know, another track that's a mile. I'd love to see these cars at Dover. Do you think they could do it? I know that's a little crazy.
I think racing-wise it'd be fun. I think tire-wise it might be an issue. I don't know how much the tire could handle that. Because I've seen Rockingham blow some tires before.
Well, maybe Matt's got some new ideas. Who knows? But mystery rounds coming up aplenty. Josh, best of luck. Good to talk to you as always. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Hopefully we keep having a consistent season like this. I needed that third place finish, but thank you to the shop and everybody, Cobble Chassis, Lucky Ducks, Motorsports, Fusion One Graphics, Matt for doing this league. It was a fun night, and thank you for doing the broadcast, man.
Always a good time when the 13 finishes up front. Josh Cottle with a good run here this evening at Lanier. And Zach, this kind of wraps things up for the night. We don't really have a whole lot else going on, actually, and that's a little weird to say because earlier we got done with the North American Racing League broadcast at Red Bull Ring, and we were talking about immediately going into this broadcast. And boy, it was a challenge. We are, as mentioned earlier, going to kind of fine-tune some things, learn a little bit from tonight's experience, and see what we can do to make it a little better moving forward, to hopefully catch more of pre-race and qualifying and all that. Bear with us. It's definitely a large undertaking to have these two broadcasts back-to-back. We'll do so for the opening 6 rounds of the NARL series here in season number 9, and the final 6 rounds then of this SARA Super Series. But next up for us here at Pit Stop TV, as you can see on the screen, we have got the third annual. It kind of looks like second, doesn't it? But third annual, I promise. Carroll Kenneth Card Memorial Race. 200 laps, Myrtle Beach Speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun. Late model stocks at Myrtle Beach are always a really killer combo. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. Late model stock cars in Myrtle Beach is something I've had some experience in lately, and I'm very excited to see more of it happening. And, you know, there's so many places to follow along with all the great action we've got going on here at Pit Stop TV. You can always go to pitstoptv.com, facebook.com/pitstoptv, Instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, TikTok.com/pitstoptv1, Twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, YouTube.com/pitstoptv1, and X.com/pitstoptv_. So many great places, so much great racing coming up. We have seen, honestly, Andrew, the last few days, we have seen some amazing racing. I don't know how it went with the NARL series. I was a little preoccupied while you were having fun with that broadcast, but we saw an amazing short track race. We saw a great fuel strategy race with BRB on Tuesday. Obviously, that ending was crazy in its own way as well. So we've just had so much great racing going on. Why would you want to miss it?
And you know what? Let's bring that graphic back up quickly. We are working on getting approved for TikTok streaming, so we would actually love that. This is the one time I will straight up call to action. Everybody, go follow us on TikTok. I don't want to take up too much more time, but on that note, please do try to follow us over there. We do have to give out the Driver of the Day award really quick. That is going to go to Cole Cabry, actually. Driver 54 is going to win tonight's Driver of the Day award, so congratulations there to Cole. That was, of course, as voted on in the YouTube chat by all of you. A big thank you quickly to our partners with the series. All on your screen here, All Pro Virtual League, Brown Racing Development, Brett Suggs Racing Media. I had to think there on that one for some reason. Brett Suggs Racing Media, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, Dylan Bates Racing, Hides, Pride Leather and Sheepskin, Hot Shot Photography, Impel Motorsports, International Short Track Association, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, Privateer Race Products, RJ Williams Management, RS Center Trucking, tonight's presenting partner, SARA Templates, SimRepMarket.com, the Association, Trackside Threads, and that'll do it on that side. A big thank you to our partners as well: Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, and the North American Racing League. Quickly here, Zach, did you find anybody for a near miss, or a mega miss, I should say?
I was tempted to say Spencer Dickinson, but he got caught in the later stages of that big one. But there weren't too many mega misses tonight, Andrew. It was a very relatively clean race.
Well, there you have it. Not many mega misses out there. We'll keep an eye out for next time. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you all next time out as we get ready. The next SARA race is next week after the next North American Racing League race. Of course, we'll have AMs on track at Red Bull Ring, and then we go to a mystery round for the SARA Super Series. We'll catch you all then. Until then, have a great night.